Hey guys, I created this video to show you how to clean out your grand Teton pellet stove. You don't have to follow these directions, but these are what I found that work great for me. Daily, weekly, and monthly. And it's really easy to keep up with and keep your stove running, especially if you use it for your primary heating source. Some of these you may have to do more often than I do. You may burn way more pellets than I do. I don't know, but I just wanted to go into how I clean mine and explain what the different parts are and why you need to clean them, and hopefully give you a better understanding of your stove. All right, let's get to it. The only tools you really need for this job is the scraper that came with your pellet stove to clean out the burn pot and a good ash vac. And what makes it an ash vac is most of the parts are metal so that you can suck up hot embers and not worry about it. This one's battery powered and I really like this model. This is a week's worth of ash in my stove. I wanted to let it build up for that week to show you how to do the daily, weekly, and monthly cleanings and show you what it looks like dirty. Some things might look a little different in my pellet stove than yours. For example, I bought these two ash pans that go on either side of the burn pot. Those may not be in yours, and that's normal. They don't come with them. I just wanted to test them out. I may even actually remove them because it doesn't really save a lot of work. So for the daily or every 3-day cleaning, all I really do is suck out the burn pot. Keep it clean. If there's any thick buildups at the bottom, you'll want to scrape them out. Anything that blocks any of the air holes that you can see. You don't want that ash building up because you don't want your pellets to fall in and sit higher than that row of holes there on the angle iron. You want to keep it below that when the pellets are actively burning. Then I just clean up the mess I made, get the ash off the door around the seal so I don't make a mess when I close it back up. It's really all I do for the daily. You can do more if you wish, but this has been working for me. Then on the weekly, I do everything I did on the daily, but now I get all of the ash buildup out of there. A week's worth of ash is quite a bit. Some people like to do this daily and weekly task together, and they like to do it daily. Again, this is how I do mine. I keep that ash pot clean daily, and then weekly I will do a pretty thorough clean. I'll vac all the ash out. You'll want to clean the burn pot, scrape it out, make sure all of the holes are clean in it. Thing is plugged up. If you have some cheap pellets, sometimes they'll accidentally mix plastic or something in with the pellets. That'll show up as hard formations in the bottom of your burn pot. These are the ashtrays that I added. I'm just removing them, going to dump them out. But you'll want to vacuum these ash cubbies on each side of the burn pot. Get them nice and clean. Here I'm just cleaning out the burn pot a little better. Just use the tool to scrape any of the areas you can to get those hard buildups out of there. I could probably clean this a little better or with a 3M scuffy pad or something like that, but just for making this video, just showing you what the tool is for. Use the pointy end to clear out the holes if any of them are plugged up, and the flat end to scrape it out. Well, like I said before, you want this bump here or this angle iron to be facing into the pot. If you put it in backwards, the burn pot won't seat well and you'll get an error code. I'm going to clean the glass with just a slightly damp paper towel. Most of the gunk comes off pretty easy. You'll have some baked on stuff if you run it a long time without cleaning the glass. That's why I put this under the weekly cleaning. And then I'll dampen the paper towel a little bit more. Get this other stuff off here. And that's it. No chemicals or anything. Squeaky clean. Okay, these baffles just lift up and tilt out. The center one has a little handle at the top that kind of helps you get it out. Then you just maneuver it out of the front hole here. And then the side ones, you can just grab on either side of them, lift them up, and pull them out. Let me pause a minute right here and explain these baffles or covers in the back. They aren't just covers to make the stove look pretty from the front. These are actually baffles that force the exhaust from inside the firebox through a specific path. And these baffles are also our heat exchanger. This back panel is what gets hot. And this is what our fan blows over on the inside of the stove and grabs that hot air, or rather heats up our room air as it passes across this back panel on the inside. That's why they have these baffles in here, and they force the hot gases to linger in there as long as they can, weaving through before they finally go out of the exhaust pipe. And that is to capture as much of that heat as they can, and so that that heat gets exchanged to the air and blown in the room. And in this view, this is the panels or the baffles taken out and flipped over, so it's kind of in reverse. But you can see these angled pieces of metal and the openings that are flat, and they allow the passage of the gases through. These angled pieces are there to catch the hot embers and as much big ash as it can as it's sucked in through the top of the firebox area. If you're looking at the front of the stove, the top right, if you feel up there with your hand and ever wondered why there's a hole in the top of that one, and you can see it in this picture here, the left panel, it doesn't have a little lid on it. That's where the exhaust gases from the fire chamber are being sucked in. And so they pass down past these angled pieces of metal and the ash and hot embers get a couple chances to get stuck there, and they slide down and accumulate. In this picture here, at the bottom left corner, you can see some built up ash. So that's why you want to clean these monthly or more. Again, it flows through the back of the panel, taking this kind of Z shape, trying to extract as much of that heat out of the exhaust gas as it can so that it can blow it in the room and catch those embers and larger pieces of ash that won't easily blow out of your flue. Part of the design. Thought it was pretty neat. A lot of people don't know that. They think these covers are just there for looks, but that's why you have to clean the ash out from behind them because it will build up there. Okay, now you just vacuum everything out in here as good as you can. I'm going to fast forward here so you don't have to watch the boring vacuuming, but you basically just want to get as much of the ash as you can. Okay, I'm just using the brush attachment on the ash vac to clean this white powdery ash off of the baffle plates on the back of the stove. All right, I got a little damp paper towel and I'm just getting more of that powdery ash off. This is purely cosmetic, but I want to keep it looking as good as I can for as long as I can. You just want to make sure you can see light through all of the air holes in the burn pot and none of them are obstructed or have any goobers stuck in them from burning. And then when you put the front face plate on, you want to make sure that the two angle irons are facing each other. Those two bump outs, they're facing each other inside of the pot. And then when you put it in, you just put the front in first and tilt the back in. You don't want to beat up that igniter back there, so you want to be a little careful. All of the back baffles go in just the way you took them out. You might have to finagle them in there. Then they just hook on to the open slits that are in those brackets in the back. And you do the two outside ones first and the center one last, the opposite of how you took them off. Center was first and two outside were last previously. All right, guys, thank you for watching my video again. Hopefully you found this useful. I know there's not a lot of information in the manual about how to properly clean these stoves. If you can do me a favor and click my little icon in the bottom right of this video and subscribe, that gives me some feedback and lets me know that you're finding these videos useful, and I will continue making them. If you don't want to subscribe, I get it. Maybe you can give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Either way, some feedback is greatly appreciated. Thanks, guys. Be safe out there and stay warm.